Marimar here, Fat Skinny Girl Love. I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit of my story. Um, n- I don't know if all of you know, but I try to keep this in the DL. But I was one of the people that got affected by the virus, and my family and I, all of them. But it was only me and my aunt that got tested for it. My mom, she did mention that she got sick and feverish, and as well as my stepdad, but they never got tested. But I'm assuming they got it too because we all got it. So, but yeah, so I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit of my story, and just hopefully you guys um towards the end of this you guys are not that scared of what might happen to you guys if you guys get it. So around towards the beginning, a little bit end of April or so, I want to say, I don't really remember, it's all a blur. um I got sick, and I thought it was just normal cold, it my the basement that I sleep in, my room that's in the basement, it's really cold, and I just thought that I just got a cold from it, and that's what I told my family. I'm like, oh, it's just a cold, it's a cold. But then it came to a point that I just started like coughing a lot, and it was a really different cough than a normal cough that you would get when you get a normal cold. So I was like, I think I need to get tested. And so I called in the COVID line. They directed me to Cherry Health, and got an appointment set, and I got tested. And still then I was like, it's just a cold, but I'm gonna prove them wrong. I'm like, I'm just gonna like go there just to make sure, just to make sure that I don't have it. But it I got the call the next day, and they said you're positive, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I was a little bit like scared, like, oh my god, what's gonna happen now, and things like that. And at that time I had really like um I had a fever. I didn't know it yet because I didn't have that little temperature. And thank you to my cousin to lend us that. And yes, we did sanitize it and cleaned it. Um, but um, but yeah. So it was not until like after we got that I got like my temperature checked. But I did feel feverish. I just didn't know that I had a fever. And so my fever was the highest, it was 101. And I had a lot of chills, a lot of sweats, and cold sweats. And I feel like hot sometimes and cold sometimes. It was just like, I would say, the normal feeling that you would get when you're like have a fever. I just felt like everything. I felt like cold sweats, I felt hot, I felt everything. um but yeah, so it was just feverish, and the cough was the worst for me. Oh, and I did had like headaches towards the beginning of this virus. The headaches were just pounding and pounding, and I was just so scared that I don't know, like I was scared because I thought like one of my brains were gonna like explode or something. I don't know. I was just like, my mind was going crazy. But yeah, my head was pounding for like 2 days straight. But the good thing is that that was the first thing that went away, because man, if I kept having that headache, I don't think I would have like taken it. But yeah, the headache went away, but I still had the fever and I still had the cough. And after that, the cough was the worst. I just couldn't sleep. I couldn't even walk that much. As soon as that I would just walk to the restroom, it was just a coughing battle. I was just cough like, I don't know, it was just really bad. Like, I cannot like reenact it right now, but like it was just a cough that just like you're trying to catch some oxygen in a way, but you can because you're coughing. I don't know, it was, I cannot really describe it, but it was just a really bad cough, that to the point that I don't know if you guys know, but whenever you guys are doing like ab work, or like haven't done any ab work from a long time, you start getting like soreness in your stomach or in your abdomen, and that was because of all the coughing. um but yeah, so I just have no idea where I was. Yeah, so then it was just coughing, and it was just fever. And all I kept eating was like Slim Fast. For the beginning, I just started eating Slim Fast because I didn't want to eat any like bad foods. I didn't want to, like, my mom would make empanadas, or she would make like quesadillas and things like that. I'm just like, no, that's too much grease. I don't want it. Um, Even though like I never had like any, they say they had like diarrhea and stuff like that. Um, uh, like I didn't really get that. I would say probably only like once, but um, it wasn't that bad. Um, but I still didn't want to eat any like nasty greasy food, so I just stayed with like Slim Fast, and and um and just liquids. And then I started like eating like Campbell soups, chicken soups. um and that's all I kept like eating. I didn't want to eat anything else that was just like greasy and just bad. um so yeah, so that was throughout the whole time. That's it was just coughing and fever. And there was only one time that I felt like this is not gonna change. Like, I'm gonna stay like this. My oh, and one other thing is that my one thing that I was really scared, it was that my heart rate was at high hundreds. It was like 110, 100. I don't think it ever went like higher than 110, probably just between 100, 110 or so. My heartbeat was really fast, beating so fast. And I was so scared because I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I may have a heart attack or something. I don't know. I was just thinking something to do with your heart. Um, and so that was the thing that was worrying me a lot, like my heart rate. And I just kept like wearing my watch, because that's how I was gonna keep up with my heart rate, just to keep at it. And one of the things that I saw in the internet, because I was scared about my heart rate, I was like, why is your heart rate like so fast? And one of the things is because your heart rate, your body is fighting a virus, and of course it was fighting the virus. And it weakens your heart. And I was like, wow, like I did not know that's how you get when you're like sick or have something like this. Like either even the flu, I don't even remember like my heart rate like increasing, but whatever. But that's what in the internet it said. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what it said. Um, you guys that are doctors and watching this, comment below and tell me if it's true or not. But but yeah, so that was the only thing that I was worried. My heart rate, just like, and my heart, I was like, oh my gosh, poor heart, is getting weaker and weaker, and it's just working itself out like so bad. And is I was just so scared because of my heart, and not even my lungs, which is what is attacking. I basically like your breathing, your, you know. But for me, it was my heart. Like I was scared of my heart. And but yeah, so my heart rate was beating so hard, was really high. And it was only one time that I was so scared. Set aside my heart rate and everything, I was so scared because that day, my fever had gone down to 99. I was like, oh my gosh, it has never been in 99. It's always been at 100 and change. And so when it was at 99, I was so happy. I'm like, okay, it's we're almost there. But then it spiked up again to 101, and I was so mad. I was so furious and sad. I'm like, why? Why is it still this high? And I just couldn't understand. I was just crying in the middle of the night, and I was just praying to God. I'm like, why is this happening? And why did it went up again? And just whys and whys and whys. And please, God, help me. And then that morning when I woke up, my mind changed. So like my mental state like changed so drastically now that I think about it, because since that was the one day that I was crying, and then after that, um I wasn't thinking about how I was feeling right then, right there. I was thinking, I'm like, how I'm gonna be feeling like few days from now, how I'm going to be feeling 3 days from now, a week from now, and a month from now. And all I kept thinking is like, just watch. 3 days from now, you're just gonna look back and say, oh, I can't believe I was in this stage at this time, or I cannot believe this. And I'm gonna be already like without a fever, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and you said that this wasn't gonna happen, and look at you, like all like well and all. And that's what my mind kept at, like my mind kept at, and how my body was going to be in the future. I never let my mind think of how my body was going to be or how it is right now. All I kept thinking is like my body's gonna be at like this in 3 days from now, and so forth. And I just kept visualizing my future without this virus and how it was gonna be. And that kept me going. And believe it or not, like, well, plus the taking your liquids, and I would take just water and Pedialyte. I started drinking Pedialyte, drank like 4 big Pedialytes throughout the whole time. And teas, hot teas, lemon teas. That's what I kept consuming to get me well. And and I just totally forgot where I was. But I just never let my mindset um think of how I was at that moment. And just couple of days, 2 days from then, um my my heart rate actually normalized, like probably like the second day that I started thinking like positive and things like that. My heart rate kind of like normalized. It was like in the 80s or so. It wasn't no longer in the hundreds. It was just like 80s. um and I was like so happy. And even though it's still probably a little bit high, like high 80s or so, but it wasn't 100. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting better. I was still feverish and all that. And then like a couple more days later, um I checked my temperature, and it was like 99. I'm like, oh my gosh. I didn't really want to think about it too much, because like last time it was a 99 and then it spiked up. So I was just like, okay, it's getting there, it's getting there. And then the next day, that's when it started at 98. I'm like, yes, thank you, God. And I was so happy. And I was like, okay, so the doctor said 3 days straight with normal temperature and you're good to go. And that's what happened. 3 days straight, normal temperature. The next day after that, it was 97. I think it stayed at 97 after that. And I haven't checked it, but I feel fine. So like I don't think there's a need for me to check it. Um but um but yeah, so 3 days straight normal. I still had my cough was still like bothering me and stuff. But I it was like after my fever went down and everything and normalized, my temperature normalized, um the bad thing was that I couldn't really speak a lot because it would exhaust myself. And right now I'm with you guys talking already like in 15 minutes or so, and I'm still like good. And but yeah, so that was the only other thing. It was just like my cough, and I couldn't really speak that much. But now it's just like you cannot shut me up. um but um but yeah, so I feel fine. And I really do think I didn't really like told this to most of my family. Probably my family knows because we have a lot of tattletales out there. um but that's okay. But I just want to you guys know that if you guys have it and are scared, I cannot just say don't be scared. I'm just going to say it'll be fine. You'll get better. Um I myself, I'm a mind person, so like just thinking positive things and just visualizing yourself and how you're going to be in 3 days from now, or a month from now, or so forth. Just set up your goal and just don't think about how you are right now, and just say like, okay, when I'm like good, I'm going to be doing this, or I have plans to do this. Or just don't think about how you are right now. Just think about how you will be in the future. And it's gonna go a long ways. I promise you that you're gonna get better. Just follow doctor's orders, taking a lot of liquids, teas. Just do that, because that is the only way that is gonna cure you from this virus. And for people who um, and for people who don't have it yet, because I believe that everybody's gonna get it eventually. We're just prolonging this. But one way or another, everybody's gonna get it. Look at me, like I was cautious, and super cautious, and still like I got it. But whatever, everybody's gonna get it. And if you haven't gotten it yet, you're gonna get it. It's gonna be fine. um just just relax, take your liquids, and I'll be here to hold you, um to hold your hand if I can, possibly, um or hold your virtual hand. But it'll be fine. And if you already have it, I'll pray for you, and you will get better. And I love you guys. So thanks for watching this, and hope you guys benefit from it. If not, then whatever. I just wanted to say my testimony about this virus, and I'm a survivor. But yeah, so see you guys, and I love you and miss you, and that's Skinny Girl Love out.